Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Derek.
Hello.
We're back for some more Sunset Beach. Tonight we're going to be covering episodes 187 to 195. It's a lot to get through, so I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. Okay. So we pick up with Gregory and Caitlin had followed Cole to when he was going to meet up with Olivia in the hotel room.
Right, because we just did the watch where we saw that
Yeah.
96. Yeah. Okay.
So she's hiding in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And they know she's in the bathroom, and I'm like, well, how is she gonna get out of this one? Like, she can't just hide in the shower. They're gonna look. So I'm like, okay, is Cole gonna say it's Bet? Is Caitlin not gonna leave until Bet comes out? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So Caitlin tells Cole that she met Helena and he told her about how he stole her mother's jewels and he disappeared. So she's basically accusing him of possibly doing the same thing to her
Mm-hmm.
because he had stolen Deschanel jewels from her mother. And also Olivia's jewelry went missing the night that they met up with Jock. Was that his name?
Yes.
Jack Wagner's character?
Yeah.
Yeah. They call security because the bathroom door is locked.
Mm-hmm.
And Cole refuses to let Caitlin or the security guy open the door. Meanwhile, back at Surf Central, Virginia told Michael and Casey about Gabby's accusation that Ricardo raped her. And Virginia and Vanessa argue because Vanessa wants to write an article about it, but Virginia thinks like she's going to exploit Gabby's story.
Right, and I'm on Virginia's side on that one. I don't think Vanessa should be handling that topic.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, not everything's a story.
Yeah. And I think Vanessa says she wants to cover the story so it's handled properly, but still at the same time, Vanessa, you need to know when to it's too much. It's too much.
I feel like Vanessa was like, I know about rape. Like, I read about it. Like,
Yes.
Just
because you read about it, don't mean you should report on it.
You don't know. So Virginia tries to play on like Michael's sympathies, and she like says she doesn't feel safe in Sunset Beach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But she's really just trying to like throw a monkey wrench in Michael's plans to take Vanessa to Catalina.
Yeah.
And she even like talks to herself and says like, I'm going to be the one Michael spends the weekend in Catalina with.
Mm-hmm.
So she's cracking. At the police station, Gabby and Ricardo are having a confrontation in the hallway, and Paul and Mark are watching. And of course, Mark gets in Ricardo's face. And I'm like, oh, Mark, don't assault a police officer because you're going to go to jail.
Right.
And of course, this just kind of like feeds into Paula believing Gabby because Ricardo's like lashing out and screaming at her. Gabby is still kind of unsure whether or not to press charges. But Paula tells her that that's the only way they can prove that he did that to her.
Mm-hmm.
The DA mentioned he doesn't understand how Ricardo put a condom on while he was restraining her.
Yes.
And Gabby kind of breaks down and makes a scene to kind of, I guess, like throw focus off of that. But also, she keeps having flashes of the night, and we see that they clearly were both consenting.
Mm-hmm.
She just felt rejected.
Right.
Oh, so Olivia ends up climbing through the window to get out of the bathroom.
Yeah, and I was originally like, where? How did she do this? She's pregnant.
I was like, are they on the main floor? Did she scale the building? Like,
right?
I didn't even know there was a window she could climb out of. I was like, is she hiding behind the door?
Right. It was weird.
So she actually ends up climbing through the window to another room where Bet is eavesdropping.
Yeah.
And Olivia's like angry at Bet for setting her up. And Bet
Mhm.
kind of explains that Cole blackmailed her into doing it.
Mhm.
But Olivia realizes that she lost an earring.
Mhm.
Olivia leaves the room and she's waiting by the elevator when Caitlin comes out. And Olivia explains that she came down to be with Caitlin as soon as Gregory told her what was going on. They had found the earring. So I guess Olivia can't wear those earrings ever again.
No.
Cole just keeps proclaiming that he loves Caitlin and that he would never do anything to hurt her. And Caitlin tells Cole that it's too late and to leave her and Olivia alone. So that's that for that. Now let's go back to Kansas.
Mhm.
Meg is talking with her dad, and Ben comes driving down the road. And at this point, I think Meg's dad didn't know about what's his name?
Tim.
What Tim had done to her.
Mhm.
So he's like Team Tim.
Mhm.
But I think the mother may have said something to him because he does know.
He does know now because I think Meg's mom told him. Yeah.
Okay. So now he's just kind of going off what Meg's telling him happened in Sunset Beach, which isn't much. So he's just kind of like, I don't know what happened between you and my daughter, but like, you need to stay away from her if that's what she wants.
You'll see that Hank's very overprotective throughout the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Throughout the show. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Meg agrees to talk to Ben, and they end up with her giving him a tour of the farm, and they actually have a nice day together.
Mhm.
Um, she's worried that he might be bored being on the farm, so they stop, and Benton says that he's overwhelmed because he's never been anywhere like this before. He says that he could live anywhere as long as they're together.
How sweet.
He asks Meg to go back to Sunset Beach with him, but she can't tell him what he wants to hear. So Ben declares that he's gonna fight for her, and he's gonna stay in Kansas as long as it takes.
Mhm.
And Annie makes it to Kansas, and she finds herself on the back of a chicken truck.
That was really funny. She just has feathers in her hair for like a lot of her upcoming conversation with Tim. It was really funny.
it's I mean, it was totally a setup, but like Tim just happened to be on the road when Annie went driving by in the back of the chicken truck. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to see her then that, and she was just there.
Yeah.
She tells Tim that she's come to fight for Ben and she's not leaving him, and I'm like, but he doesn't believe anything you have to say. Neither does Meg. So it's like, he
Mhm.
doesn't want to be your friend right now.
Yeah.
Annie says their new plan is to tell the complete and utter truth, everything.
That'll work.
Yeah. I'm like, but they know it already, so what does it matter that you
Right. You're
confess? It's a
mhm.
false confession.
Mhm.
um, so Annie and Tim are in the kitchen, and that's when she meets Meg's father. And then when Joan comes in and she sees Annie, she's like, "Oh no, get out, both of you, get out of my kitchen."
Yeah.
So that was funny because I think Annie tries to say to the father that her and Meg are good friends. So this is when Annie and Tim, I guess, apologize to Ben and Meg,
Mhm.
and Tim tells Annie that she almost had him believing her apology.
Yeah. I also liked when she showed up at Meg's house and Hank doesn't know who Annie is and he's like, "Your friend's here." And Meg's like, "My friend?" And then she sees Annie, she's like, "She's not my friend."
Annie says that she's all alone in the world, and Tim says that she's not alone; she has him. And they end up kissing. I
Mhm.
love them. I want them to be a couple so bad, or at least have sex.
They have
um,
great chemistry. Like, I mean, Sarah Buxton has chemistry with every man on that show, so it doesn't even matter.
but Ben and Meg walk in on them.
Mhm.
Oh, back at the Sunset Beach Inn, I guess it's called. Um, Bet is like trying to sneak out, and Cole catches her and he drags her into his room.
Mm-hmm.
Sean finds out that Caitlin went to the hotel and caught Cole with the other woman. Caitlin asks Olivia for help confronting the other woman, and Olivia collapses in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if like she was going into labor or if she was maybe having a miscarriage,
Mm-hmm.
or faking it just to like distract from the conversation. Sean calls Tyus to examine Olivia, and she says she doesn't want to lose the baby just as Gregory walks in, because Gregory doesn't know that Olivia is pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Which she's further along than Caitlin, so I don't understand how he doesn't know still. So Michael, the trip to Catalina almost gets canceled because Jimmy wanted Michael to go to a father-son football game with him, and it's like the same weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But Casey offers to like go in Michael's place, which Virginia is not pleased about. I almost feel like Jimmy is pushing for Michael and his mom to be together.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom is using him, but he's not seeing that. He thinks
No.
he's just helping his mom.
Well, never mind. I think that was later.
Jimmy asks Virginia if she's upset that Michael and Vanessa are going away together. Virginia tells him that she wouldn't be upset if she thought that Michael and Vanessa were right for each other. She tells Jimmy that Vanessa threatened to tell the police about Michael being the one that killed Jimmy's father. But Jimmy asks Virginia if they should tell Michael about what Vanessa threatened. And of course, Virginia says they shouldn't, because Michael would break up with Vanessa and then she might follow through with her threats. So Jimmy just kind of goes along with whatever his mom says.
Right.
Okay, so Tyus comes to the house to examine Olivia, and Gregory's downstairs by himself, saying that there can't be anything wrong with the baby because Olivia's not pregnant.
Right.
Tyus says that the pain is just a muscle spasm, and Gregory congratulates Olivia on the fortunate timing of her muscle spasm. Tyus remarks that it's interesting that Gregory never asks about the baby, and Olivia tries to explain that Gregory thinks that the entire pregnancy is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
When Caitlin overhears Tyus saying that the pain was a muscle spasm brought on by stress, she decides that she was the one that was stressing Olivia out with all her drama about the other woman.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia tells Caitlin that Cole isn't good enough for her and that he'll continue to hurt her, and because that's the only thing that he's capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Back in Kansas, we're back with Meg and Ben catching Annie and Tim kissing. Annie and Tim can't really think of an excuse of why they were kissing.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben and Meg decide that they deserve each other.
That was funny.
Which I agree. Meg tells Ben that she thinks that Annie and Tim have been working together for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she asks Ben if he thinks that they've been more intimate. But Ben just changes the subject. He wants to just talk about them and how beautiful she is and how much he loves her, because he's trying to lure her back to Sunset Beach.
Right.
Annie gets depressed that Ben saw her kissing Tim. And she says she needs to go shopping and to have a good time. And Timmy tells her that it's a dry county and that the nearest place to go is like the Buckaroo.
Yeah. Where Meg and Tim were earlier, yeah, in an earlier episode, yeah.
Yeah, where they're like friends from high school didn't know that the wedding never happened and thought they were still a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody speaks.
Yep.
So just as Bet is leaving Cole's room, of course Eddie sees this. And it kind of aligns with all his research that Bet's the other woman.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is convenient.
Yeah. He's the worst private investigator.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Eddie tells Bet and Cole that he's there to satisfy his own curiosity. And Cole leaves. Bet convinces Eddie not to tell anyone that he saw her there with Cole, and she kisses him. And I didn't hate it.
No.
So at the Java Web, Casey notices that people are kind of like giving Ricardo dirty looks and like, I guess, talking about him behind his back. And Ricardo says that everyone believes he's guilty. So I think they talk about doing a lie detector test.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
At Surf Central, Paula and Mark are talking, and she tells him that she feels torn because she hasn't known Gabby for very long, but it is her sister. And she has known Ricardo a lot longer, and she can't believe that he would be capable of violence against anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark, because of everything Gabby's been feeding him since the beginning, thinks that Ricardo does have it in him.
Right.
Plus, he thinks that's his girlfriend.
Poor Mark.
Mark reminds Paula that Gabby's the victim. And Gabby
Mm-hmm.
walks in and overhears Paula say that she can't help but worry about Ricardo's life being ruined.
Yeah.
Paula sees Gabby and she like immediately apologizes. She says that Paula is right and speculates that Paula and Ricardo will still be together
Mm-hmm.
if she hadn't come to town.
Right.
Gregory wants Olivia to convince Caitlin to go with her to the clinic in San Francisco. And I guess stay there for the remainder of her pregnancy.
Right. Because Caitlin thinks she has a high risk pregnancy, but she doesn't.
But the plan has like switched up now because
Mm-hmm.
now they're, instead of making Caitlin believe that Olivia had a miscarriage, they're going to make Caitlin think that her baby was born stillborn. And they're going to steal her baby and make her think that it's Olivia's baby. So Caitlin is sleeping and she's having a bad dream that Cole's confessing to her who the other woman is.
Mm-hmm.
But just as he's about to tell her, she wakes up and she's in Olivia's bed. And I don't understand why nobody in this family can sleep in their own bed. Why are they always sleeping in somebody else's bed?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. They're just like, oh, here's a bed. I'm just going to sleep in it. Okay. Don't you have your own bedroom? Ricardo gets arrested for because Gabby ends up pressing charges. Oh, so that happens. Okay, so I think this is, didn't Gabby go to see Ricardo
Mm-hmm.
to kind of try to smooth things over?
Right.
And then they got into an argument, and that's when she decides, out of spite, that she's going to press charges.
Yes.
She wants it to go away and disappear, but she keeps making it worse.
Right.
Gabby's talking out loud to herself about having to go forward with her lies, and there's no turning back. And Elaine walks up to her and says that Gabby is not going to get away with destroying Ricardo's life. So Elaine actually hires Gregory to be Ricardo's lawyer.
Yes.
So this is a change.
So it's funny how Elaine is like sees through Gabby and is on Ricardo's side, but Paula still can't see the truth.
Do you think it's kind of out of jealousy that Paula's father had a child with another woman, or do you think she just never trusted her from the beginning?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually.
Because Gabby hasn't really done anything to Elaine for her not to trust her.
No, but she's always been like kind of suspicious of her. Like,
Yeah. Even before she knew who she was?
I don't know if
Or
it was
remember.
before she knew, but yeah.
Yeah, oh, because I don't think Elaine likes how she went about it. She was very sneaky about it.
Yes.
So ever
Mm-hmm.
since then, she's kind of been like side-eyeing her.
Mm-hmm.
Mark offers to testify that Ricardo's been coming on to Gabby for months.
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo, who's now on bail, hugs Elaine and thanks her. And Paula witnesses this. Ricardo says that he won't stay because he knows he makes Paula uncomfortable. And Paula is hurt that Elaine's helping Ricardo. And Elaine says she worries that if Ricardo's innocent and went to jail, that Paula will never forgive herself. Annie and Tim wake up hungover in a Kansas cornfield.
Mm-hmm.
They're cuddled up in the back of a truck. Still clothed though, so I don't think they got to actually do anything.
No.
Tim reminds her that she was a big hit last night at the Buckaroo.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that everyone noticed her except Ben. Tim told her that Ben doesn't know what he's missing. Ben calls Gregory and finds out that another partner may be coming on at the Liberty Corporation.
Right.
And Gregory wants to know if Ben will be coming home soon. And Ben says he's unsure, like, because he's trying to get Meg to come back with him.
Right.
Annie and Tim go back to the Buckaroo, and Annie claims that Meg won the battle for Ben and the war. So Tim tells Annie that they make a good team, but they can't team. Oh, and that they can still break up Ben and Meg. Tim says that Ben will never make Meg happy, and Annie says that doesn't matter because there is no chance for Tim to ever get Meg back. But Tim's not ready to give up on Meg. Annie admits that she'll probably never be ready to give up on Ben, but that she'll do what she has to. Oh, she can't keep doing what she's been doing. She says she needs to redirect her energy. And she says it's time for her to go. So Tim offers her a ride to the Four Corners. I guess that's where he was standing when she was on the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And she uses her womanly charms to hitch a ride. Like, why wouldn't she just let Tim drive her to the airport?
Right.
Not to mention that hitchhiking's not safe.
No. In Kansas, it might be. I
don't know. Yeah, true. Oh, so Ben and Meg get into a fight over him calling her Maria, and he just gets so frustrated, and he basically blurts out that she is Maria, and I'm like, what does that mean?
That made no sense.
Like, and I think he kind of explains it like nobody can get under his skin and make him feel emotionally charged like Maria did, like, except her. I don't know. It's weird. It was a weird way just to put a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It wasn't well written. Vanessa enlists Casey's help to like plan a secret getaway with Michael, so Virginia doesn't know about it and can't do anything to like sabotage it. He has a friend that has a cabin, and he offers for her and Michael to have it for the weekend. And Michael loves this idea, and he kind of just like sporadically is like, bye Virginia, and she's like, damn it. Vanessa kind of sets up the cabin to be all romantic for a nice romantic evening, and Virginia goes back to, where is she from, South Central?
Yeah.
And she's hanging out with her old neighbor who Vanessa had interviewed.
Solida.
She drugs her and takes her car to drive up to the cabin.
Yes. She's got to stop Michael and Vanessa from making love.
Right. Meanwhile, it's starting to storm out, so now she's driving in a storm. Yeah, it's bad. Meg runs out after Ben says that she is Maria. And she like runs into the barn and like into her father's arms. And Hank is like, stay away from her, you're making her cry. And then all of a sudden Meg's like, no, I'll talk to him. Like she had to be all dramatic and run away just to agree to talk to him again. Meg is hurt by the fact that he compares her to Maria, and Ben gives a heartfelt apology and asks for forgiveness for everything, the cave, calling her Maria. But like, okay, the cave situation, whatever. I don't understand why she's so upset about it. Like, he couldn't help it. He was concussed. Like, but she knows that Annie was brainwashing him. Like, move on from that.
Yeah, she's having a hard time with that.
Meg says if she could forgive him, she could never forgive herself for allowing him to make love to her while he thought she was Maria. They both agree upon that they cannot move forward until they forget the past. Maria insists that now I'm calling her Maria. Meg insists that Maria was a saint and she can't compete with that. And Ben says Maria was no saint and that he didn't love her. He hated her.
Yes, he did say that.
Did Cole admit to Caitlin that Bet was the other woman?
Yes.
He said it?
No, I think they were it came out in a confrontation with Olivia and Cole.
Okay.
Well, he admitted it because, and then Olivia's like, "Oh yeah, it was Bet." It was.
Throw her right under the bus.
Yeah.
But so Caitlin goes to Annie's house, or Bet's house too. I guess she lives there.
Yeah.
And when Bet answers the door, she like slaps Bet.
Slaps her, yeah.
Poor Bet. That was great though.
Mm-hmm.
No, she punched her. She didn't slap her. She punched her.
Oh Lord.
But then it ends up being actually like a calming scene, and Bet's like, I've known you since you were born, and you've always been like another daughter to me, my beauty. Right. And she like calms her down, and right. How like it was just like,
yeah, she was like, I never would have done it if I would have known like who he was, or you know.
Yeah, and she says that he loves you. It wasn't love; it was just sex, pretty much.
Right.
So Meg can't believe how could she have been so wrong, and she wants to know why Ben acted the way he did at the anniversary of Maria's death, where he was kind of like shutting everybody out and just like brooding. And Ben said that he just wanted to remember that he hadn't been able to save her, and he didn't feel that he had tried hard enough to save her. So he feels guilty about that. He says that the cave, him thinking that she was Maria, was probably him just like fantasizing about the way he wanted it to be with Maria. Mm-hmm. Which isn't a good explanation. Because you can't go from saying I hated her to I fantasized about it being good with her. Mm-hmm. Meg tells Ben that being home was right for her and it's what she needed. Mm-hmm. She tells him to go back to Sunset Beach alone. Mm-hmm. And Ben says if that's what will make her happy, then he'll do it.
Yeah.
But he wants to make sure that that's what she wants. He says he's going to go pack and he'll be back. On the phone, Ben tells Gregory he's returning to Sunset Beach, hopefully with Meg. And he agrees to meet with him and the new partner in the Liberty Corporation. Meg tells her mother about everything that happened between her and Ben, discussing his past with Maria. And Joan tells her not to let the fear of being hurt ruin her life.
Right.
Meg didn't think that she could stand to take the pain again. She's making her own pain.
Mm-hmm. She won't let herself be happy. I don't get it.
And he says that he's all packed, including with a return ticket for Meg.
Right.
He says that he's going to go back to Sunset Beach and pick up his life, but not a day is going to go by that he doesn't think of her. Mm-hmm. He says that they have a true passionate love that most people spend a lifetime trying to feel. Meg tells Ben that she wanted their love to work, but she was afraid. He says he was afraid too. He says when he realized that Meg wasn't willing to risk her heart again, he would when Ben realized that Meg wasn't willing to risk her heart again. Oh, when he realized that she wasn't willing to risk getting hurt again, he says that he'll always love her.
Right.
And they just kind of stare longingly as he walks out the door. And she kind of like, she doesn't run after him, but she briskly walks out the door to watch him drive away, pretty much.
Right.
She like walks to the road and watches the dust kick up as he drives away. All right, well, we're going to head over to Patreon and we're going to watch episode 196. I have no idea what's going to happen, but Derek said that it's a good one. So
yes,
come join us over there. Subscribe to our supporter tier, which is $3, and you can watch it along with us. And as always, you can find us on all the other socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night.
Good night.